So, I'm here to teach you the very basics of fantasy hairstyles. I've been a fantasy nerd for ages, and I love messing around with my hair. So, for the first basics, So, very first, it's just a half up, half down ponytail. So, I'm going to take off my glasses for this. But basically, you take your hands like this, put them like that on your head, and where your thumbs go, you should be gathering hair in while also smoothing this back. It should be right at about the ear. That's where you gather. So you make sure that everything's all nicely separated. And you grab an elastic, whatever type. And then once, twice, 3 times, but then again, your mileage may vary. Also, this is a straight bang. I cut my own bangs. So, this is what it should look like from the back. And for our next part, we're going to bring that elastic down a bit. Okay? So now that the elastic's brought down, put your hands on your head, and then you split it like that. Hopefully the camera gets the hole, but there should be a hole. And then you take these 2 fingers, put them under the ponytail, up, and then you grab your thumbs, just start pulling it through, and then bam. This reverse in out ponytail is very classic. Now that we've got the ponytails and stuff, I'm gonna put my glasses back on. Oh god, I need to wash these. And I'm also gonna bring this out. But basically, those 2 are the very first basics. I also recommend, if you have any sort of curl, do this when your hair's wet and like scrunch it a little bit, even if it's just wavy. But yes, now for braids. So you can do this with any amount. I'm just taking this amount out so that you can learn. Okay? So we're gonna have a 3-strand braid. So first, you take 1 strand out of a chunk of hair. And then with these 2 fingers and this hand, you start to separate those 2. So that way, hang on, let's see. You should have 3. And then what you do is you go under and over. And so over, and you pull this under, and then when you pull that strand that you just pulled to go over, you pull it under. And you have that. And then there we go. There's the braid. Simple 3-strand braid. You can make it as big or little as you want. Just be aware that the smaller your braid, the more tangled it might get when you try to take it out. So now we're gonna go for some we're gonna go for a fishtail braid. Feel free to pause this video at any time. Hang on, I got a little knot in my hair. Okay, so let's take a chunk of hair, to be any size, and instead of, so I'm just making this feel nice in my hands. Yeah, instead of putting it into 3, we just, in the middle, we split. And then you kind of grab the whole thing with one hand, and then you take a tiny piece. You throw it in the middle. And then you switch hands, you go from this side, tiny piece in the middle. Tiny piece in the middle. Now, this one is a lot more labor intensive than the 3-strand braid, and it's also a lot looser feeling on your head. But it is very secure. So I'm just going to do a bit more. So that way you guys will be able to see why it's called a fishtail. If at any point these 2 halves are uneven, oh well. You know, just grab a bit of extra, grab a bit less, whatever. Right. There we go. That should show you. I don't know. If you don't know, just look up pictures of fishtail braids. I'm showing you how to do it. I know my camera's not the best. Okay, so let's brush that out. Give us a little bit. Now, this next one comes from Norse culture. Hang on, I'm looking up what it means first. Shoot, all I'm getting is like a bunch of different braids. But, so my Norse friend taught me this. And it was commonly used when men would go off, but also for kids who are playing around and they want to keep their hair out of their face. Now, once again, this is another 2-strander. I believe this also meant courage and strength. But yes, ask Norse people, talk to Norse people. I'm just showing you how to do the braid. So, you can watch my hands, twist the opposite of round, hand them off, twist, wrap, twist, wrap. And then also at any point, if your like hair is uneven, you just steal a bit from the other side. That's all you do. But yeah, that is what it should look like. Now with those braids, with the half up, half down, you now have a lot of the basics that I use. Yeah. Oh, one more. So for this one, you're gonna need a bobby pin. So I'm gonna separate my bangs for this. Okay, so chunk that out of the way. And now I'm grabbing this. And from that, I am starting. Just going to do a simple 3-strand braid, but I am also going to braid it with my hands facing this way so that it pulls towards the back of my head. And then once I feel it'll go to the middle of my head, then I'm gonna take that bobby pin. Ooh, that's probably a bit too long, oh well. So, and then bring it back. Bobby pin. Hold it in place. Now, my hands are free. Just do this. Okay. And yeah, I think that's about enough. Once again. Nope, that's not right. Braid toward this way. There are people who can show you how to make the braid attach more firmly to your skull. I am not that person. I do a lot of basic shit, and that goes quickly. Okay, so I've got that half done. Pull it back. Now, let's try to get this. So, I think I'll have to do a bit more. So now we take the bobby pin out. We take these two, you put them together, and then you separate it into three. And then you braid. And yeah, it looks nicer when it's fully done, but I'm running out of time. So there we go.